morning. Honorable Minister, Dr. Sanjeev Balyan. Secretary, Mr. Atul Kumar Tiwari. Principal, Scientific Advisor, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood. Ms. Swati Munjal, Mr. Shomik Shah, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a room. I'm really honored to be here today at the 10th India CSR Summit, Asia's largest CSR forum. Platforms like the India CSR Summit are critical in bringing the government, businesses, and other partners together to share lessons and experiences from our efforts to advance sustainable development. As you are aware, and we heard it also in the first statement of the Principal Advisor, the world committed to the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Only last month, heads of states met at the SDGs Summit during the United Nations General Assembly in New York to take stock of the progress made. The summit marked the halfway point to the deadline set for achieving the 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals. Halfway through, we are not on track to meet the goals. We also know that developing countries face a $4 trillion investment gap in SDGs. Hence, if we want to achieve the SDGs, we need to act now and we need to act together. In the SDG Summit Declaration, the UN member states committed to, and I cite, mobilizing adequate and well-directed funding for SDGs, and they underlined the need for governments, the private sector, and other stakeholders to increase the level of ambition in domestic, public, and private resource mobilization for SDGs. The government of India has been leading the efforts for the agenda for 2030. The government has done so at the national level by localizing SDGs for greater impact and introducing innovative schemes for social inclusion and environmental sustainability. But it has also done so as a global leader by placing the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals at the center of its G20 presidency. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Good, I'm out, okay. So I was saying that the government of India as a global leader has been placing the Agenda 2030 at the center of its G20 presidency. And you have certainly all seen that the SDGs are also very central to the declaration of the G20. At UNDP, we are privileged to support the government of India in localizing SDGs at the national level with the India SDG Index, and also in some regions and states, in the Northeast region with the Regional Index, and through 5 SDG coordination centers at state and UT level. Businesses are a strategic partner in eradicating poverty, accelerating structural transformation for sustainable development, and building resilience to crises and shocks. The private sector can play an essential role to bridge this SDG funding gap and turbocharge the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda with business impact. In India, the private sector has shown commitment and compliance in supporting the government's vision to achieve the SDGs. Besides the country's very progressive policies and robust ecosystem geared towards promoting profitability with sustainability, companies, and you all know, are also mandated to spend 2% of their net profits on CSR. This is a very unique national legislation. And it is hugely encouraging to see corporates, many of you in attendance today, which are effectively contributing to India's sustainable development through the CSR agendas and beyond. This includes supporting quality education, gender, there is definitely some challenge. Okay, let's see. Okay, quality education, gender equality, and good health and well-being, and rural development, among others. Just to give an example from a state where in the Karnataka state, the Karnataka government and UNDP have launched the Akansha platform, another very interesting platform to facilitate access to CSR funds and scale SDG priorities. This platform allows corporates to identify sectors where they can invest their CSR funds to make the biggest impact. So directly in the SDGs, which are more lagging behind in this very state. This is a platform which we're also going to replicate with other state governments. At the same time, businesses today recognize that it's not about going beyond, but about doing their business in a way that respects people and planet. We must focus on scaling up private finance for market-based solutions for blue and circular economies, empower micro, small, and medium enterprises with a special focus on women entrepreneurs, and prioritize business and human rights. I think the statistics we have seen just before show us why we also need to focus on women entrepreneurs. At UNDP, through our Business and Human Rights Program, which is also a regional program, we work with governments, businesses, civil society, and national human rights institutions and academia to implement the UN guiding principles on business and human rights and advance responsible business practices throughout global supply chains. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, when businesses take responsible actions across their operations and value chain, they have the potential to bring about positive transformation in the lives of millions, directly contributing to the fulfillment to the Sustainable Development Goals. UNDP, the United Nations Development Programme, and partner agencies stand ready to support the private sector in aligning its activities and investment with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda by mainstreaming the SDG into decision-making and practice. I thank you.